Welcome to Satsunami.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Satsunami. My name's Adam, and joining me is the one, the only, the famed red panda himself, it's Satsunami. Satsunami, welcome back.
Oh, we're live now. Oh, sorry. Hey everybody, how we doing? Sorry, I'm so used to, being on
You're on this side of the mic.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so used to being on that side, but I don't think I want to be on that side now. It's full of crumbs.
I know, it's quite the state over here. I'm desperately searching for things and everything, but we're gonna get by. We're gonna make do. It's gonna be professional and slick as always, even with an amateur like me in control. Anyway, welcome back everybody to our 4th episode of Sonic Month. Can you believe we're 4 episodes in already?
It has, no pun intended, it has sped by so fast. That's it.
Where does the time go? 1 minute you're talking about, Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and the next thing you know, you're onto Forces. What happened in between?
I don't think anybody wants to know what happened in between. It's all a blur.
If you want to know what happened in between, go back to our old episodes from our first 3 episodes of Sonic Month, where we detail the storied history of this most famous of gaming franchises. So now, having covered all the games and the major kind of eras of Sonic, we thought we'd take a little different tack today and do something a bit different, do something, I'd say, a bit more fun, a bit more out there. We're going to do a trivia episode today. Regular listeners may remember our Halo trivia episode from a couple months ago, where Satsunami grilled me on the deep and rich lore of the Halo series, and I got close to a pass mark, but not quite a pass mark. So we'll see if I can do any better today. I am once again going to be in the quizzes seat, while Satsunami is going to be occupying the tall and imposing chair of the quizzer. You've put a lot of work into this. I know you've been trolling through the Sonic lore. So how do you think I'm going to do? Do you have a prediction for my score?
Well, I think you're actually going to do better in this one compared to the Halo one. No offense, but
My Halo one was that dreadful that it can only
No. Let's dial it back a bit to save your dignity and your lettuce here.
Please do, please.
Because in that last episode, we of course did 7 questions, of course, based on the fact that Bungie's favourite number for some reason is the number 7. So we did 7 questions. This time we've got 10. So you've got more of a chance to redeem yourself in this one, I think. And if you listen to our last 3 episodes where we talked about the retro age, the dark age, and of course the modern age of Sonic, you'll have heard that Adam has put a considerable amount of work into researching about these games. So I'm fairly confident that you're going to get a good mark for this one.
Well, I appreciate that. That gives me a lot of confidence moving forward. I may have put a lot of research in, but I would counter by saying that my brain is what you might charitably call a sieve. So we will see how much information I manage to retain from my researching efforts. But you know what? I'm excited for this one. I feel like I'm playing with a bit of house money here, in that I don't know the Sonic series as well as I know the Halo series, so I feel the pressure's off a bit more for this one. I feel calmer, I feel more relaxed, I have a nice cup of tea sitting here next to me, so I'm just going to get myself into a zen state of mind, and I'm just going to go where the wind takes me, and I'm going to follow my heart and follow the power of friendship, and that will get me to the answers. I am convinced.
Do you know what I'm dreading the most about this episode? It's the fact that if you get a bad mark on this one, you're gonna return the favour tenfold in the next trivia episode when it's your turn to be the quiz master.
I am saving up all the resentment and all the bitterness over my previous scores, and yeah, you're in for a world of pain, sir. But you know what? That's not today. You get to occupy the safe seat today still. So don't worry about that for now.
No, hold on a second. Where did that talk of friendship go?
Oh, yeah, of course. Friendship. Yay, double boost. Woo! High five through the mics, We'll take down Eggman. I don't know if Eggman's going to make an appearance in this quiz, but we'll take him down.
Actually, he does.
Oh, he does. I suppose in fairness, you can't have a Sonic episode and not mention our good friend Eggman, whether that be Ivo or Gerald.
He is indeed the Eggman. It's what he is. He is the Eggman. He's got the master plan. Do. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I read too far in the script. Let's dial it back a bit. But of course, yeah, I have actually curated a smorgasbord, as it were. It's been a while since we used that word. A smorgasbord of trivia facts. We've, of course, got some from the games. We've got some from the comics. We've we've got some from promotional material. We've got everything. So you guys know how it'll work at home, and please feel free to play along at home. Please let us know how well you did. If you got 10 out of 10, 5 out of 10. If you got 2 out of 10, email Adam. He'll take all your questions.
We'll commiserate together.
Yes.
Please feel free to come in and gloat in my face when you all inevitably do much better than I will.
Of course. No, I'm only kidding. Half kidding after that. Wait. Sorry. For
Veiled
legal
threat.
reasons.
It wasn't very veiled, in fairness. The kind of open threat.
It's like I always say, it's less passive aggressive and just straight up aggressive, you know?
Sometimes you don't want to be passive. Sometimes you just want to be up front.
Well, exactly. What would Sonic do?
Very true. He's not about that passive life.
And as I'm looking to the Red Panda lawyer in the corner who's saying, yep, my passive aggressiveness stands in a court of law, giving him a thumbs up. Oh, goodness. Like, see, before we start this trivia quiz, and again, this isn't me gatekeeping, but what do you know about Sonic the Hedgehog trivia as a whole? Do you think you've got a fairly decent knowledge after playing the games, or do you think you've, like, scratched the surface of the iceberg?
Well, since Fang the Sniper is my favourite character, I think I've got a pretty in-depth knowledge of the lore. Honestly, I know more now, definitely, than when we started Sonic Month. And I think I have a fairly decent knowledge. I think I've got a probably better knowledge than your average Joe on the street. But I still think I've got a lot to learn, which I'm sure I'm going to learn a lot from this episode. So, you know what? I've got some knowledge, but I don't think I've got the kind of in-depth, nitty-gritty. I know Ken Pender's name, so maybe that's going to serve me well. I don't know. We'll find out. But
I have to admit, I have been holding back so much for a lot of like the last 3 episodes because I'm like, there's so much I want to tell you. There's so much I just want to share, and I'm like, I can't because it's going to ruin my Sonic trivia quiz.
that is some amazing restraint on your part, so I doff my cap to you.
Oh, trust me. You will be saying, why didn't you bring this up in the Sonic retrospectives? It's an interesting series, you know. The series has been running for about nearly 31 years as of this episode, and there is so much media to draw from. As I said, there's the games, of course, the spin-off games, which came much later, the comics, you know, there's so much. There's a wealth of absolutely crazy knowledge here. Like, for example, I told you about how the Archie comics had the backstory of why there's not as many humans in the Sonic world and there's more animals. And fun fact, I don't know whether this is a Ken Penders thing or not. I'd probably not, because I can't blame him for everything. But long story short, aliens came down, sent an emissary. Ivo Robotnik's ancestor killed them, or maybe it was Ivo himself, I don't know. So humanity waged war against the aliens. These aliens also fought against the Black Arms, who are the aliens from Shadow the Hedgehog. They bombed the planet, so people regressed into turning into like anthropomorphic animals, which is a furry's wet dream, but we won't go into that. You know, it's absolutely batshit insane. It's crazy what they got away with in the comics and things like that. But yeah, I'm so excited to share this world now. Now I can take off my inhibitor rings. I can say, forgive me, Maria. I must go all out just this once. I'm excited. You know, can you tell?
Super Satsu here.
Yeah, exactly. Super Satsu, where it's just the tiny tuft of hair standing on end. All the flickies going around him, you know, going, ah.
I'll be able to see the radioactive glow of you, from all the way over here.
I know. I'm waving. Can you see?
Oh, there we go. that pale luminescent light in the distance.
Yeah, you thought it was the Northern Lights. Well, sorry to disappoint you. So, for anyone who's listened to our Halo trivia episode, you'll know how this goes. I will read out a statement relating to Sonic the Hedgehog, and Adam has to guess pretty much if what I'm saying is true or utterly false. And there are 10 questions, as I said, so please feel free to play along. Adam, are you ready?
I think so. In other ways, I don't think so. But let's do it.
Okay, and as you get prepared and in Zen mode again, yeah.
Friendship.
We will be right back after these messages. Welcome to Satsunami, a variety podcast that talks about topics from gaming and films to streaming and general interests.
Previously on Satsunami, we discussed Game of the Decade, Deadly Premonition, the romantic thriller, Birdemic, and listen to us get all sappy as we discuss our top 5 Christmas films.
If that sounds like your cup of tea, then you can find us on Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, and all good podcast apps. As always, stay safe,
Stay awesome, and most importantly,
stay hydrated.
We are Beer and Chill Podcast.
Podcast where we review TV shows, games, movies, and whatever else takes our fancy.
So what are you waiting for? If you're a cool kid like us, you're gonna listen to the Beer and Chill Podcast. You can get it anywhere from Spotify all the way to your grandmother's radio. My name is Jan.
And I'm Craigie C.
And we are
Beer and Chill.
I wish we had a theme song. Oh, wait, sorry, we're back. We really should get a theme song commissioned for these episodes where it's just like, dun. I know that's countdown, but let's not get into it.
we can put our own spin on it, maybe.
Dun 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 dun. There we go. Okay.
Yeah. We'll have that at the end, and that'll be completely different.
Yeah. Can I just say, not musically inclined at all? I'm a podcaster, not a musician, so. Yeah, direct all your complaints to www.I-swear-to-God-I'm-not-a-musician.com/. Please don't look up that link because it's probably real. And we don't want anyone getting hate. .co.uk // for legal reasons. This is a joke. Adam, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Question 1, and I started off with a game-related one. In Sonic 06, there are a total of 465 mandatory loading screens that amount to 1 hour and 58 minutes. Now, is that true or false?
Wait, throw those numbers at me again.
465 mandatory loading screens, and that amounts to, in-game, that amounts to 1 hour and 58 minutes of load time.
Wow. Right. I know there are a lot of load screens, and I didn't finish 06. I didn't come close to finishing, but I know that I encountered quite a lot of load screens in my time there. For anybody who hasn't played Sonic 06, basically a lot of the missions tend to get structured is, go to a location or you'll speak to, the mission giver. That will take you into a loading screen. You'll then get some dialogue, from whoever it is, be it Tails or whether it's the mission giver or whatever, get a couple lines of dialogue. You'll then enter another loading screen before you can get to the level. And I think then you've got loading screens after your level or your mission is finished. So I know there's a lot of them. But is there an hour 58? An hour and 58 minutes worth. It is a long game, Sonic 06. It is quite a meaty game, and you've got 3 stories in there. Can I ask, is this including the DLC or is this just the base game?
This is just the base game. I just want to say as well, this doesn't include the side missions.
Oh, it doesn't include it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Of course, you said it's the mandatory ones.
Yeah, so it's all the story ones that you have to go through to complete the full game.
An hour 58 is a lot of time. My initial gut reaction was to say this was true, but an hour 58 is a lot of time. And now I'm thinking about, if it is an hour 58 minutes worth, would it take you longer to watch all the loading screens in Sonic 06? Or would it take you longer to watch all the cutscenes in a Metal Gear Solid game? My mind is getting very sidetracked here. Come on, gotta get focused here.
This is only question 1, by the way.
No. Right, okay, let's make a... Do you know what? My gut said true, so I'm going to say true. I know there's a lot of loading screens in this game. It's a pretty chunky game, so yes, I'm going to say this is true.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. Not really, but yes.
You are right.
Yes!
So, a bit of a disclaimer. I'm not 100% whether this is for the PlayStation version or the Xbox version, but you might be wondering where I actually got these statistics. There is a guy on YouTube that does a very kind of CinemaSins based series called Everything Wrong With, but instead of films, he does Everything Wrong With Sonic games and things like that. And he's called, I think his name's Chari5. And if if I completely butchered that name, I apologise in advance. He does a really good, like, everything wrong with Sonic 06 in 57 and a half minutes, which is actually shorter. So what he actually did was, at the very end of the video, and you can look it up, he actually compiled like a full thing of all the loading screens in the game. And yeah, they amounted to 1 hour and 58 minutes.
That's crazy.
And 34 seconds. I'm just double checking my sources if you want to be exact. But he like compiled them all together, and that's under the guise of, if you complete the game perfectly, if you don't have to restart a level, if you don't have to do anything else, that's 1 hour and 58 minutes of your life you're never getting back.
That's like the length of Sonic Forces. Probably more, actually.
Probably. So what would you prefer? Would you prefer to play Sonic Forces for 1 hour and 58 minutes, or would you prefer to sit through the loading screens for that amount
I know
of time?
you want me to say sit through the loading screens, but I think at the very least, I don't think Sonic Forces is a great game, but at least I'm doing something. I'll say at the very least.
That was question 2. That was false.
Oh, I am brimming with confidence now. Guys, the power of friendship works. Just believe we can do it. I'm ready.
Oh, you poor unfortunate soul. This is where we ramp up things exponentially. Are you ready?
Oh, let's do it.
Question 2. We all know Charmy the Bee is that one annoying character in the games, but did you know that in the comics he is the centre of several dramatic storylines, including losing his friend to LSD and suffering brain damage, which causes a teenage Charmy to revert back to a childlike state?
What? Oh my goodness. Oh.
I'm a stinker, I know.
I don't even know where to begin with this one. Right. Now, I've had very limited exposure to Charmy the Bee in the games. From that limited exposure, nothing has led me to believe that he has friends who get caught up in LSD. And also, he seems quite childlike to begin with, so unless perhaps this is the Charmy the Bee that I've encountered is the post, would you say concussion or what, or whatever it was that led Charmy Bee to like revert to this state?
So yeah, in the games he's always been childlike, whereas in the comics there was a period when he was a teenager and then he reverted back to being childlike after his traumatic experience.
Why do I all of a sudden get the sense now all these questions are going to be true? Right, let me think. I know that the Sonic comics have had some wild and wacky stuff, but does that include drug use? You know, memory loss seems like the kind of thing that I could believe could happen in the comics. It feels like a kind of comic book storyline. Maybe the effects of LSD are why Charmy can break the Knuckles Chaotix game, and he just can hack your way through the game with Charmy. Do you know what? I'm going to say true to this again, because this kind of feels like the wild and wacky stuff they would use in comics, you know. Maybe not to pad the comic out, but maybe just to try and, you know, get some buzz, pun intended, going. And you know what? It feels like the kind of thing that could happen, so I'm going to say true.
You sure about that?
No, but I'm going to stick with it.
I hate to say it, but it's true.
Oh my goodness.
Do you want to know the story behind both of these?
Yes, definitely do.
So, for the LSD one, apparently it was a bit like everything else in Sonic. It didn't stand for what LSD does. It was like something completely different. But I don't know if it was like LSD laced chili dogs or something, because the Chaotix eat them.
Of course it would be.
The Chaotix eat them and they get like a trip. But apparently it's it's Charmy's friend called Mellow the Bee that gets a fatal dose.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I don't know if they do the whole, oh, he's dead, or they kind of sugarcoat it. He's in a different hive, that hive in the sky. Now, the suffering brain damage one, this is one that actually took me by surprise. So, apparently in the comics, and I know Ken Penders was involved with a lot of this, but I don't know if this was his idea for the storyline, or because I don't know if it might have been Ian Flynn, or there was someone that definitely had a hand in this. But long story short, Charmy used to be the prince of a hive until Dr. Robotnik came in and destroyed it. You know how it goes.
No, I know what that Robotnik's like.
So Robotnik had these these things called, I don't know if they were like massive metal grapes that he was trapping animals in, and he was basically roboticizing them. So in that kind of era, he wasn't exactly turning small animals into badniks. He was literally turning them into robot versions of themselves. So you would have like people cutting about, they would be cutting about with like robot arms and things, but they would still have the rest of their organic body and things. There was actually a character called Bunny Rabbit that had like a metal arm, but I'm getting ahead of myself here. And apparently what it would do is it would, when you were trapped in this, it would erase your mind, then it would pump you full of a poison, and then it would start to roboticize you. Really gruesome stuff for a Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon, or rather comic. And yeah, Charmy had a girlfriend called Saffron. There's apparently a very poignant scene where he's saying like, don't worry Saffron, I'll get us out of this. But of course Sonic comes in, saves the day, blah blah blah. Now apparently the reason this happened was because Sega wanted Charmy to be like to match his game counterpart. So apparently in the games he was always a child, so they wanted the comics to reflect that as well. Why they didn't introduce time travel or just retcon it altogether, I don't know.
That's far too easy.
So what ended up happening was, halfway through the process, Charmy gets basically lobotomized, so he goes back to a childlike state, but his girlfriend makes it through okay. So she goes from loving this bee to becoming his caretaker.
Oh my god.
And it gets worse because apparently I think Saffron was one of Ken Pender's characters. So when he split from the company, they had to kill her off. And I think they threw her through like a warp rig or something so she could never come back. And of course, because Charmy's a child now rather than the teenager, he doesn't know anything about this. So he's oblivious about Saffron being his, girlfriend and things. Do you see what I mean when I say the comics are dark?
I'm starting to get a sense now.
Yeah, well, at least the Archie ones. I think the latest ones, like the IDW stuff, is a lot more grounded in the games rather than whatever the hell they got away with in the Archie ones. But yeah, that was my fun fact of the day. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll go cry in a dark room.
I almost don't want to continue the quiz now. I'm so depressed, but no, I'm on a high now because I'm on a roll.
Number 3. In Charmy the Bee, the special... No, I'm okay.
The rest of this quiz is Charmy related.
Pretty much. We're going to do our boy Charmy justice here. Question 3. In the 90s, there was going to be a cartoon called Sonic Kids, spelled with a Z, where children wore Power Ranger-style bracelets and transformed into their favourite Sonic characters.
So there was plans for this, allegedly. Plans for this. Did you say a TV show, did you?
Cartoon.
Cartoon. So it's almost a bit kind of Captain Planet-esque in a way. Or perhaps with Power Rangers in a way.
Because at the time, in the 90s, you had Sonic Sat AM, you had Sonic Underground, which obviously didn't do well, and then you had The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. So this was supposed to be kind of like a fourth one to market more like toys and things, because of, how popular Power Rangers was with the bracelets.
Ooh. I was tempted to say false, but that is an interesting point that you've raised. The power of merchandise. It's not to be underestimated.
And if you want to hear more about our thoughts on merchandise, go listen to our Jingle All the Way episode. But sorry, go on.
Do you know what? This one sounds like the most plausible out of the 3 questions so far, and that's making me think it's false. This seems like something that they would maybe try and capitalize on. Because, as you say, it is kind of in keeping with shows that were, popular at that time. But I'm going to say false for this one. I don't know. I'm just getting a sense. It doesn't seem to me to ring true to any of the kind of current Sonic stuff. And I know, obviously other forms of Sonic media have gone in different directions to the games. But this just seems too different, and it seems too much of a clone of other kind of shows. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say this is false.
You sure about that?
Again, no, but I'm sticking with it.
Damn you, Adam. That's false.
Is it?
I genuinely thought I was going to throw you with that one, because I was like, there's no way he's going to say this is false. It sounds too plausible. I've crafted the perfect web of lies. when I was just like, yeah, it was supposed to be merchandise and Sonic, and I was like, God damn it.
You nearly swayed me. That nearly swayed me. I was like,
Oh.
oh, that's a powerful factor there.
To be fair, I'm actually surprised they didn't capitalise on something like that. Because as I said, the main Sonic cartoons of the 90s was Sonic Sat AM, which was the kind of more serious one, Adventures of Sonic, which was the PSA one, and Sonic Underground, which, oh boy, yeah, Sonic Underground, the less you know about that, the better. Where they all play instruments and try to find their mum. Spoilers, they never find their mum because it got cancelled.
God, the real tragedy.
Speaking of tragedy, you want to continue?
Yeah, I'm riding high. Gonna touch the sky, can't fall.
Question 4, bit of a short one. Sonic's middle name is Maurice.
Ooh, Sonic Maurice the Hedge. Is the Hedgehog his last name?
I think it's more of a title.
Oh, fair enough. So Sonic Maurice something the Hedgehog, Esquire, PhD. Now I've never heard of Sonic having a middle name, but that doesn't mean it's not true. This could be a comics thing. This could be this does sound like, this either sounds like, if this is true, like an extended universe, edition, or else something that was in one of the old gaming manuals. And, perhaps was right there at the beginning, and then they just decided to jettison, or just, they just never bothered to kind of play it up again. Maurice. Is that the middle name you'd give to a hedgehog? If I had a hedgehog, would I give him the middle name Maurice?
I don't know, you tell me.
I can think of worse names maybe I'm just going mad now, but I'm like, Maurice kind of fits a hedgehog. Yes, I am going mad. Oh no, I think I've had some of that famed LSD.
That killed Mello the bee, how could you?
I'm next. Oh god, Maurice.
Crazy old Maurice.
Crazy old Maurice. This is honestly a coin flip for me here. I'm not getting a strong sense either way. So I'm gonna roll the dice. I'm gonna play the odds. Luck be a lady tonight. I'm gonna say true.
And you're right again.
Oh my god!
So, do you want to know Sonic's full name?
Yeah, I'm desperate to know now.
Ogilvy Maurice Hedgehog.
Really?
Well, okay, let me be clear on this. It was revealed in an Archie comic, so whether or not that is the case now, I don't know. But yeah, that was his name in the comic. I think it was like he was having a conversation with one of the characters, and he goes, "Speed's my middle name," and then he whispers, "Actually, it's Maurice, but don't tell anyone."
That's
so
a
yeah,
pretty good gag. I like that. Is this a Ken Bender special?
no, I think this is pre-Ken Penders probably.
Oh, fair enough.
I feel bad blaming everything on Ken Penders because he is on Twitter, so if he finds this,
Oh no.
he's going to cancel us.
Oh no, Mr. Penders, please.
The pendering is upon us.
That was a difficult one because I didn't get a strong feeling either way with that one. Yeah, I don't know. That was pure luck, to be honest. I'm gonna be honest, that was a pure 50-50 just guess. But there you go, Ogilvy Maurice. So where does Sonic come from?
Because he's fast, Zoom Zoom, I think. I have
Nice.
no idea.
I buy it.
I don't know whether that was a name his uncle gave him, or it was because I think in the comics and the Sat AM show, he lives with his uncle Chuck, which is just like an older Sonic with a beard. No, that's real. That's actually, this isn't part of the game, Adam. This is real.
True.
True. Adam, you need to wake up.
Just me and Charmy in a childlike state.
Oh, Jesus. And on that note, I'm moving on to the next question. You don't get a choice.
Can I just say as well, I'm so happy I've equaled my Halo score.
Somehow, yeah. Number 5. In the game Sonic Adventure 2, there is a scene where Eggman holds Amy hostage with a gun on the Space Colony Ark. According to some early drafts of the script, Amy was supposed to be shot, mirroring what happened to Maria Robotnik.
Ooh, this was a slightly darker age for Sonic. I mean, we're not quite into the Shadow the Hedgehog territory yet, but we're getting there. Obviously, this wasn't the first game with Shadow in it. Oh, this one kind of rings true. The fact that then you said mirroring Maria's thing, I'm like, that's a nice narrative. And because it's Sonic, I'm going to presume that as much as Maria can't apparently be brought back to life, I'm pretty sure they could do something to bring Amy back to life. Unless they were going to go full, full RoboCop and she was just dead. that was it.
I think that was probably why they changed it, because they thought, okay, maybe that's too dark.
Okay. This has a ring of truth to it, because I can totally see this era of games. Now, I've not played Adventure 2 yet. I'm foolishly, I should have started playing it by now in preparation for this trivia quiz. But I know that Adventure 1 had some darker elements to it. And obviously 06 and Shadow have some darker themes in there as well. You know, this does seem fitting. I can see like a group of writers getting together and being like, yes, this just makes narrative sense. It's perfect. You know, we've got a mirroring of events, you know, from beginning to end, and then we can bring some commonality between Sonic and Shadow. Yeah, I'm talking myself into this, so I'm going to say true.
Final answer?
Final answer.
I have bamboozled you. It's
Oh,
false.
you got me.
To the best of my knowledge, that's not the case, but I should have been a writer on Sonic Adventure.
That's an amazing... Did you come up with that?
Yeah, yeah.
That's an amazing... You should have been a writer on Sonic.
Thank you. No, as far as I know, they weren't going to go that dark. There is actually a scene, surprisingly, where Eggman does hold Amy hostage with a gun. And it's like, Jesus Christ, it's the only time where he's been that sinister, next to Adventure 1, of course. But yeah, no, there's genuinely a scene in Sonic Adventure 2 where he does have a gun and everything, but to the best of my knowledge, he doesn't shoot anybody.
There was never plans to use that for him to cap Amy in the head.
Not as far as I know, but
wow.
I'm just kind of proud that you were saying from a narrative sense. I had the light Yagami smile, like saying, I've won.
You did get me. You got me there. You got me a bamboozling. I talked myself so much into that one. I was like, yes, just think about it. It mirrors the beginning at the end.
Yeah, I don't think Sega would have been confident killing 2 young girls
They
in
were
the
fine
same
killing
game.
one, but not...
Yeah, one off screen, but the other one, nah, maybe too much. Even though there are, to be fair though, there are a lot of like parallels between Amy and Maria in the game, but not that.
Not the end fate. Well played, sir. Well played.
Thank you.
You talked me right into that one. Right. No, first I talked myself into it. You planted the seed.
Yes, the seed of doubt and charmy regret.
My wild imagination.
And on that note, are you ready for the next one?
Oh, let's do it.
Number 6. In a promotional event for the game Shadow the Hedgehog, Yuji Naka, who was the head programmer of the original Sonic the Hedgehog, stated that the reason Shadow had a gun was because he received letters from kids asking for Sonic to have one.
I think this is true. I think I may have heard this. Just you saying that now is bringing back some memories. I'm sure I've read this or heard this. And you know what? This exactly seems like the kind of thing kids would say, especially at this point. You know, kids have been played some Sonic games, then, you know, they've graduated to play probably the Grand Theft Auto games at this point. Probably things like Vice City and I can't remember when San Andreas came out, but I think San Andreas maybe came out before. Shadow, obviously you had your more traditional shooters as well. Call of Duty was up and running at this point. I think this is true because I think I've heard this. I and I'm going to hold on to that fact. I'm sure I have heard. I don't remember it being Yuji Naka, but I'm sure I heard somebody saying that people wanted Sonic to have a gun. So I'm going to say true.
And you are wrong. It's false.
Oh, it's actually...
No, I'm only kidding. It's true.
I was so sure there. I was like, oh. I was about to like dig up. I was like, I'm going to look for this through the internet, troll through till I find it.
Well, this is how dedicated I am to this one because I actually have a quote from Yuji Naka himself. As far as I remember, I don't know if this was like a promotion for the Shadow the Hedgehog game, I think, where they had like this wrestling event and a guy dressed up as Shadow the Hedgehog was like the referee.
That is amazing. I want to find pictures. Is there pictures of this?
Oh yeah, have a look as I read out this quote. But here's the quote from Yuji Naka himself. We received letters from kids, and many of them had asked for Sonic to have a gun. We felt that it wasn't appropriate for Sonic to have a gun, but maybe it'd be okay with Shadow, and that's how we started on the game.
From such humble beginnings.
Yes, to Sonic can't carry a gun because he's a childhood icon, but maybe Shadow, who is over 50 years old for a hedgehog, can. No, that is the dumbest. That is honestly the dumbest reason I think I've ever heard in my life for a character having a gun.
Well, do you know what? Give the kids what they want.
That's the complete opposite. Don't listen to the kids.
It's what I say. Don't listen to. I mean, no offense to fans. Don't listen to fans. This is what happens.
Out of curiosity, did you look up that picture by chance?
I did. I'm loving it. I'm like, damn. Where's the Sonic wrestling game? I know we've had the fighters. I definitely want to see Shadow suplex Big the Cat.
Yeah, so I'm looking at it as well. In fact, sorry, it wasn't a wrestling. I think it was more an MMA fight, which
fair.
Which makes it even worse. Like, at least wrestling, it's all kind of fake and things. Wait, no, maybe it was wrestling, actually. Sorry, I'm getting so many pictures of him in an MMA ring.
Maybe he did both.
I'm convinced it was wrestling, but if anyone else has, any evidence to counter that, he was definitely in a ring. That's all I'm saying. And there was fighting going on. But whether or not that was because of wrestling, you know what? I'm moving on before I dig myself into a tunnel. I would say a hole, but, the hole's so, long and cavernous that it might as well be a tunnel at this point.
Might as well.
Question 7. During the development of Sonic Boom, Sega struck a 3-game exclusivity deal with Nintendo for the Wii U. However, the developers of Sonic Boom were not told before the deal was made.
Now, I don't know if you meant to do this, or if this was a slip, but I think you dropped a hint about this in our previous episode. Unless you're playing like 3-dimensional chess here. And just
Please, 4.
Oh, sorry, 4-dimensional.
4-dimensional, please.
God. That shows how smart I am. I can't even play 3D chess. Unless you're playing like 4-dimensional chess here, and you're just like 5 steps ahead of me, watching me about to fall into the trap here. I think this is true as well, because I'm sure you referenced the fact that the developers of Sonic Boom were not told and had to scramble. So that's the statement you said there. So they said Sega signed this deal with Nintendo, but the Sonic Boom developers weren't told.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is true. I'm gonna maybe fall into your trap here, but I'm gonna go down this path, and I think it's true.
Yeah, no, you're right, it's true. I'm kicking myself because I did mention it in the episode, and as I was reading these things that I'd written, I was like, "Oh damn!" I brought that up in the last episode.
It's impressive. I'm impressed that that's the only one so far that you've accidentally let slip. You've been very good. You've kept a very tight lid on the rest of these. So can't believe you didn't tell me anything about Charmy the Bee having brain damage.
You have no idea how much I've wanted to tell you. All this time, always. Just wait till we do the Ken Bender special when I'm
oh my god, I can't wait. I can't wait. The madhouse we enter there.
I was going to say, do you want to hear Knuckles' lineage?
My boy Knuckles, what have they done?
Knuckles, he don't chuckle. Are you ready for question 8?
I'm ready.
Going into a bit more obscure territory here. Question 8. There is a fan animation based on an unused character from the Sonic X anime, which, as of 2022, has amassed 63 million views. Originally released in 2006 and then re-released in 2014, the animation focused on Dragon Ball fight sequences.
Ow. Again, this has a ring of truth to it to me. I don't know. I know that the Sonic community is very invested and is very passionate. And well, you mentioned the guy who's single-handedly, reworking all of Sonic 06. There is an incredibly dedicated fan base here. So you're saying this is a character from the Sonic SatX, did you say, sorry?
No, sorry, Sonic X. So Sonic X was the, I want to say 2003 anime, but it was early 2000s anime. And there was this picture that circulated at the time of this cartoon hedgehog that nobody really knew what they were going to be used for. They thought it might have been an alternate Sonic form. They thought it might be, something completely different, a new character. They had no idea what it was. And someone took that idea and created this fan animation. And I just want to point out, as I said, as of 2022, it had amassed 63 million views. Now think about the kind of videos that amass that kind of thing, music videos and things like that. I mean, that's a hell of a lot of views for a fan animation.
It's almost like you're trying to talk me out of saying true on this one. Oh my god, I don't know what game you're playing anymore. I'm sitting here playing 1D checkers. You're playing that 3D chess.
Are you winning? Go on, Adam. Say it. You know you want to.
Again, this has a ring of truth to it, and this has a plausibility that again makes me want to say it's false. I don't know if this is a risky move to pull twice. An unused character. So this character would have had to have been shown in promotional material or whatever leading up to Sonic X, but then not be in Sonic X, and then has been resurrected by the fans. Now, I know obviously you do tend to get material in some promotional stuff that doesn't actually end up being in the end product. And I know the Sonic fan base is passionate. 63 million views is a lot of views, though. But, you did say 2006, and he said it was re-released. Did you say re-released 2014?
Yeah, so the video itself was re-released in 2014, and that's the video with 63 million. So not the one in 2006.
Yeah.
It'll be from
Okay.
2014 onwards.
Well, that's 8 years, so you could, it's plausible. It's not like it was a year ago or even a couple of months. 8 years is time to do it. This is too plausible to me. I'm sensing a trap here. I'm gonna shift over Sonic Boost Formula style. I'm gonna shift over to the next lane and say false.
Final answer?
Final answer.
You should have trusted your instinct, it's true.
Oh, right into the trap, right off the rail.
So, the fan animation is one that I think a lot of Sonic fans are very familiar with. It is called Nazo Unleashed. So, if you type that into Google, Adam, that's Nazo. I think Nazo, and this was a story that Nazo in Japanese, I think meant unknown or something like that, or NA or something. So, it was a picture of. Are you looking at the picture just now?
I am. Let me get an image up. Oh wow!
I'm just having a look. If you look down, there's like one where it looks like someone's glowing, like a kind of glowing white Sonic.
Oh yeah.
For some reason, like nobody really knew what Nazo was. I think it was supposed to be like either a super form of Sonic or something like that. Nobody quite knows the origin unless it's already been confirmed, like in which case please email me at my www.satsusnotlistening.com. Again, if that's real, please don't. But yeah, it was like based off of the Dragon Ball fights, because you know how Sonic is basically, it's got a lot of parallels with Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
Like with the
course.
golden hair.
I forgot that part of the statement. I forgot that bit.
And they were like, they're fighting against Nazo, and it's very Dragon Ball Z. But the clever thing that the guy did, and I think his name's Chakra X, he basically took clips of the audio from the adventure games, the way the characters speak. Like, in fact, no, sorry, I tell a lie. It was actually from Sonic Adventure all the way through to Shadow the Hedgehog, I think, where he took like audio clips from each of the games, and you can tell they're all like distorted and things like that. And he does a good job of like clipping things together, where it's like Knuckles saying like, I can't believe that bastard, things like that. For what it was at the time, it's so well made. It's just such a nostalgia blast. Honestly, I would recommend watching it sometime, because it is just so over the top. And of course, they bring back like the hyper forms, which I told you about in the last episode, where they have like the kind of flashing lights, and they've got the white fur, and then they fuse together and they fight. Nazo, honestly, it's just like, it's just unadulterated fun. It's just so good. So
sounds like a blast. Oh, I can't believe I talked myself out of that.
I know, I was
it's so
surprised.
obvious.
It's when you said about 63 million, are you sure you're not talking me out of it? I thought, I'm done. And then you're like, then again, you know Dumbledore, where it's like, very good, however. And I was like, oh no. Well, can I just say, out of 8 questions, you've only got 2 of them wrong. So you've got 6 out of 8. That
I
is...
am mightily impressed that I've got that many right, to be honest. I never in my wildest dreams I think I'd get over 50%.
Do you know what the bad thing is? I can't believe you've got more right in this one than you do for Halo, which is your franchise.
I know. I'm gonna have to officially switch memberships now, I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to leave. I'm gonna have to ride off into the sunset from the Halo from the Halo community. Join the Sonic one, if they'll have me.
You ready for the next one?
Let's do it. I'm gonna close down my shame. I'm gonna close down Nazo and get rid of my shame.
Okay, 2 more questions. Question 9. There was supposed to be a Big the Cat fishing game for the Dreamcast, but due to the character's poor reception, Sega decided to instead focus on their Bass fishing series instead.
I think this is false. I think there's a modicum of truth in here, because I think, and I'm going back to the episode you did with Super Shadow on Sonic 06, and I'm sure you talked about the Big the Cat sequence, and I'm sure that you mentioned that this was actually, it was supposed to be promotional for Sega Bass Fishing. I don't remember either of you talking about specifically a Big the Cat fishing game. I think Sega Bass Fishing was the main fishing game coming out, and that they were trying to drum up a bit of interest through Sonic Adventure by these Big the Cat stages. So I think this is false, and I think you're trying to cleverly disguise the truth in here, but you're trying to hide the truth behind the form of Big the Cat. So I think this is false.
Okay, first of all, how dare you say that that I would use Big the Cat as leverage for anything. That guy is a national goddamn treasure, okay? Number 2, how dare you listen and remember in great detail about the episodes?
Satsu comes back to haunt you again.
This was like my personal Columbo here, right? This was like me saying, I've won, you know, I've got all the pieces in place, and you're just like, just one more thing. You know, I listened to your episode with Super Shadow. You know, my fiance, she listened to it too. Great episode. I was like, oh no. The one piece of the puzzle.
In fairness, I went back and listened to that episode again. First of all, because it's an amazing episode.
Thank you.
Number two, because in preparation for our Dark Age retrospective, I went back to listen to both your thoughts on 06, and then I happened to hear that, and I was like, oh yeah, because I just happened to have played the Cat sections there, so it's just one of these confluences of, you know, right time, right place, just sticks in the brain.
Cuffs you and your astute research methods.
I know, there you go. One thing stayed in the sieve, so happy.
Oh,
Big couldn't get strained out.
Big never gets strained out.
He stays with you.
I'm sorry for all the Big the Cat fans out there. I'm sorry for using his name in vain. Are you ready for the final one?
I'm ready. I'm ready to go super Adam here.
Yep, we have one more question left, and just to recap, you have 7 out of 9, which, not gonna lie, pretty damn impressive.
Same number of Chaos Emeralds, if I'm correct. It's almost like it's meant to be.
Question 10.
How many Chaos Emeralds are there? Please be that one.
There's 7, you're right. How are you like evolving so rapidly?
I don't
You're
know.
like a machine.
I'm learning.
You've got all this binary information coming at you. He's just like, I'm consuming all of this information. Oh, I can't believe how... Honestly, you're doing fantastically.
Thank you so much. I mean, I have a horrible feeling that if we'd done this like episode 2 weeks later, I'd have been like, Sonic the what now? There was a bee?
Sonic the Whole Cage? What? Okay, here we go. Number 10, the grand finale. Number 10. During the release of Sonic Mania / Forces, Sega hosted a promotional stunt where children had to hunt for glass replicas of the Chaos Emeralds in a Comic-Con style convention. However, the stunt had to be cut short when 3 of the prop emeralds went missing and 2 were smashed by a drunk adult.
Oh, I'd love this to be true. I don't know. I've not heard. And the fact that I've not heard makes me inclined to believe this is false. But this would be another classic example of, and video game, as we talked about in our mature content episode, video game marketing has a storied history of these kind of bizarre promotional events. God, if this was true, why would you make them glass? It's just asking for trouble and just leave them lying around. I mean, that's all perfectly... I mean, the only thing that makes me think it's not plausible is I'm pretty sure all of them would have gone missing by pilfering out adults. Especially at a Comic-Con as well. That is exactly the kind of thing people would want to grab. So it's for children. I want to say false for this one because in my research, I don't ever remember hearing this. And this feels like the kind of thing that I might have just heard referenced. Now, maybe not. Maybe other people didn't know about it. It could well have happened. I suppose this maybe could have been a Japanese event, and perhaps it didn't make as much news over here. And video game marketing is bizarre, and people do try lots of crazy stuff. But would they get children to look for glass emeralds? I'm going to say false on this one because I don't think I've not heard of it, which is what I'm really banking on here. My hope is that if this was true, I would have heard about it. As much as I want this to be true because it's another amazing video game marketing story, I haven't heard about it. Getting children to find glass things is asking for trouble, and I can only imagine the health and safety loops you'd have to go through to begin with before they start getting smashed. So I'm going to say false.
Final answer.
Yep.
Final answer for the final question.
Yep.
Final answer for the final question for Sonic Mania / Final Forces.
Yes.
You are right, it is false.
Yeah, there we go.
Because I have to admit, my thinking behind this question was the thought of Sega being so incompetent that they had like this whole, like a room booked out in a hotel or something, and they had all these Chaos Emeralds hidden, but 3 of them go missing because, as you said, like an adult would kind of, like steal them, like a Big the Cat fan or something, would be like smuggling them out. And when I said 2 were smashed by a drunk adult, I was thinking like adjacent, there would be like a wedding. And then there'd be like a drunk adult come in and go, oh, what's this?
Just a bar mitzvah happening. We had to double up.
I mean, that bar mitzvah / Greek wedding.
I'm just imagining the Sega officials looking up now, and all of a sudden one of the emeralds is on top of the chair, getting raised up and down or something like that.
You mean the Chaos Emeralds? Mr. President, get down. Let us ensure peace and prosperity.
Like Gerald Robotnik wanted.
Exactly. Totally not by shoving a lizard into his space station, wanting peace and prosperity to blow up aliens. That's what peace and prosperity means, doesn't it?
Pretty. I mean, peace and prosperity is one of these nebulous terms that can mean a lot of different things. So who are we to say that it's not a giant space lizard?
Peace and prosperity is indeed the friends we made along the way, isn't it? And yeah, that's the final question. So to tally up, you got question 8 wrong, which was about the fan animation. But to be fair, you were close in that one.
Can't believe I talked myself out of that one. That's what I'm going to think about tonight. I'm like, stupid.
And you got question 5 wrong when I told you about Eggman holding Amy hostage with the gun.
You bamboozled me so good on that one.
I have to admit, I was proud of that one.
You should be. It was excellent work.
Yeah, why, thank you. But yeah, other than that, you got 8 out of 10. So congrats to you on that one. Good lord.
I mean, nobody, I think I can speak for everybody and say nobody thought this would happen, least of all myself. But, you know, it just goes to show that if you believe, you get yourself into a Zen-like state, and you always remember the importance of friendship, you can do anything, including getting 8 out of 10 in the Sonic Trivia quiz.
Is that your final comment?
Put that on my tombstone. Adam, he got 8 out of 10 in the Sonic Trivia quiz.
I've got to ask, we have done, as of this episode, we have done 4 episodes for Sonic Month. Technically, we've done 5 episodes on Sonic as a whole, if you include the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. So, how have you been finding the topic of Sonic the Hedgehog as a whole so far?
I've really, really enjoyed getting to know this series more, playing like different games to different ages. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, it's been frustrating at points. It's been aggravating. It stressed me out. But you know what? I've had more fun than I've had sort of any kind of irritation or annoyance. And it's just been so fun to dive into something that I had so little practical knowledge about, you know, and it's nice to actually kind of break through the kind of barrier that I think surrounds the Sonic series from an outside perspective. And, you know, you have all the kind of external criticism and the kind of mocking. And it's nice to kind of just part that, you know, and go through it and actually just get to grips with the series and realize that, you know, how I don't think a lot of that criticism holds true. Some of it's justified, but a lot of the kind of general stuff and the mocking I think is very unfair. So it's been really fun to kind of delve into it. For me as well, it's been as much as I enjoyed it, it's been a little sad for me because I think I mentioned this to you a few weeks back, but platformers were a genre that I never grew up with. So like when I started getting kind of properly into gaming was when I got my first console, which was the Xbox. And the original Xbox wasn't known. It had a couple of platformers, but it wasn't really what the system was known for. It was obviously known for its first-person shooters, most notably Halo. And that's kind of what I started on, and that was sort of my kind of early gaming experience was first-person shooters, and that's what I grew up doing. So I never really played any kind of platformers when I was young, and it kind of makes me a bit sad because I feel like for a lot of people that is their first experience was with these kind of mascot platformers, you know, be it Sonic, be it Mario, Crash Bandicoot, whatever. I don't know, it makes me a little sad that I kind of didn't experience that when I was younger, but you know, at least I'm getting the chance now to try it out. And I would just say, like, I think it's just a lesson to just try different things sometimes, you know, even if perhaps you think it might not be your cup of tea, maybe it will end up being, but you know, I don't think there's any real harm in trying something new. So you know what, broaden your horizons, give it a go, because you might just be surprised.
Couldn't have said it better myself, to be honest. Honestly, thank you so much for putting in such, you know, dedication, time, and actually buying these games.
It's been worth the blood, sweat, and tears because it's been a lot of fun, and I've got a lot of memories. I've had so much fun discussing the series with you and researching it and hearing your thoughts and formulating my own opinions on it. And yeah, I don't know if I'm quite a full Sonic fan yet, but I'm very favourable towards this series now, and I think it's not a series that I will keep an eye on in the future. I'll be interested to see how it goes and how it develops, and I wish it and its fans all the best.
That's actually a lovely way to end the episode. Let's just end it.
So saccharine.
I just love how it's like, yeah, let's end it on that and not the fact that Charmy the Bee overdosed. And
But let me tell you why Amy should have been shot in the face by her. The narrative, yes. It makes sense, damn it.
Number 1. And then it just cuts out. As I was saying before, the red panda's going absolutely wild in the corner there, going, no, don't post.
Shut
don't
it
do
down.
It. Shut it down. I don't know why he says like Arnold Schwarzenegger there. It's just like, shut it down.
David Cage.
Oh, yeah, of course. Shut it down. Of course, with our T-pose and malarkey. Yeah, if you want to check out us playing Detroit Become Human, go check out Satsunami 42 on YouTube. Fun fact, this is indeed indeed our very last episode of Sonic Month. So, Adam, thank you so much for taking part in it. And I am only kidding. That was a false statement.
I was going to say true.
We indeed have one more episode ready to go. That, of course, being our... Honestly, I'm so excited for this episode. That, of course, being our Sonic Adventure retrospective. So you might have heard in the Retro Age episode and the Dark Age episode, we kind of briefly touched on Sonic Adventure, but we never really went in depth. We never talked about mechanics and things. You might be wondering, why? Why didn't we? And do you want to know the answer? It's because we are going to be doing an episode dedicated to the two games, and I'm so excited because they are obviously, if you've been listening to these episodes the past month, these are some of my favourite games and I absolutely loved them as a child. Adam, you have played Adventure 1 at this point. You are on your way to play Adventure 2. Is that correct in saying?
That is correct in saying. I've cleared now that I've cleared the slate of the other Sonic games, I can fully devote my time to Sonic Adventure 2.
And I cannot wait to hear what you have to say about it, to be honest.
I'm very excited to play it. I'm finally going to play City Escape. As I think I said before, it feels like this is the culmination of my journey into Sonic. It's all been building up to this point, and I'm so excited just to throw myself into the game and then to come and discuss it with you, and just to hear as well, just to hear your kind of passion for the games, because I know how much they mean to you. So I'm just really excited to hear you talk about them, and glad that you get the chance to just say why you love them and say why they're important. And it's going to be a blast.
So next week, prepare for our 4-hour special of... Nah, I'm only kidding. It's only going to be 3 hours, and 3/4 of that's going to be about why Big the Cat is the best character in the Sonic universe. I actually, completely off topic before we finish, but did I ever tell you that I was talking to a fellow streamer who wasn't too savvy about the Sonic the Hedgehog series, and he was asking a question about who could defeat Goku from Dragon Ball. I don't know if you've seen these questions, but it's like, who could defeat Goku? Like, could Superman defeat Goku? Could all these different anime characters defeat him? But I threw my hat in the ring and said Big the Cat. And of course, he didn't know, so he was like, "Oh, I wonder what Big the Cat's power level is. I wonder who Big is." Things. I'm like, I actually wonder. Froggy. Do you want one last fact?
Oh, I'm always up for some facts.
So this might be some spoilers for the Metal Virus comic, so if you want to skip like this, then fast forward about a minute ahead. But long story short, there's like a comic that they've recently released as of this episode where Dr. Eggman releases this chemical weapon that changes people into zombie robots. It even affects Froggy and Big. There's actually like a really poignant comic where you see them slowly turn, and the last thing he does before he turns is fishes with his best friend.
Oh my god.
And do you want to know something even like better?
I don't know if I want to know any. This is tragic.
Froggy is the reason that Dr. Eggman gets infected. It is amazing.
Good old Froggy.
Oh, it's so good, because Dr. Eggman essentially like throws Amy under the bus by pushing her towards the zombies to get away, but he trips up, and just like the last shadow he sees is just Froggy descending.
Oh my god.
Look, all I'm saying is Big getting infected by the metal virus was a formality. You know, he could break out of that anytime he wanted, okay? You know, his power level is too big. But anyway, enough about my fan fiction. Let's wrap up the episode. As always, guys, thank you all so much for listening. Adam, thank you so much for your astute research, as it were.
Thank you for putting this quiz together. It was a lot of fun, and it made me feel good about myself.
Exactly. As I said, I am dreading when you get to be quizmaster and I get all the hard questions thrown at me.
Can't see me rubbing my hands with evil intent right now.
Oh, absolutely. I can hear it, but I can't see it. I've got the ears of a red panda, of course. As always, thank you to our lovely listeners at home. Thank you all so much for, listening to this episode and hopefully playing along. How many did you get? Please let us know on Twitter, Instagram, whatever you want to tell us. Just tell us under the episode. We would be really delighted to know what you have to say about this. Without any further ado, thank you all so much for joining this episode. If you want to check out more of our Satsunami content, you can check us out on Anchor, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and really any good podcast app. So look for the Red Panda under the name Satsunami, and we will see you there. So without any further ado, stay safe, stay awesome, and most importantly, Adam, is this true or false? Stay hydrated?
True.
Stay hydrated.